Hello, welcome everybody on my channel. We are in Cluj, in the heart of Transylvania in Romania, and we will take a walk in this historical city, and I hope you will enjoy this video. I prepared a lot of interesting stories about this town. Yeah, I was staying here since 13 years, so I was thinking about if I should make this video or not, but I think a lot of people didn't yet travel here, so it would be interesting to share about my city. So let's get started. First sightseeing location is an amazing square where I started this video. It's from King Matthias Rex, or in Hungarian Mátyás. He was the king of Hungary when he was crowned in. He was even 17 years old, very young when he got the crown. He was very fair and just with his people. So when he died, people were saying the truth was dead, actually. So the people of Cluj collected some money in the end of the 19th century to build this statue, and it was finished in 1900, so in the first year of the 20th century. And the statue was made by Fadrusz János, who got the first place. He won the first place at the expo in Paris. As I mentioned, the statue of Matthias the King is one of the symbols of the city. This is another one, the St. Michael's Church, which was first built in the 14th century, but it was destructed by earthquake, fire, which destroyed a lot of places in the old town, and it was reconstructed a lot of times, but what we can see currently, it was built in the middle of the 19th century. So currently we cannot visit it because it's under renovation. And this tower is the tallest in this region called Transylvania. This is the old stone hall of Cluj. You can see there Cluj-Napoca. It's the official name of the city, because in some theories here was a Roman city from the 2nd century, which was called Napoca, part of the Roman Empire. And here at the main square they even discovered some ancient ruins, which I will show you now. If you can see that glass stuff in the middle of the square, but they couldn't really prove that it was part from the ancient city of Napoca, and if it really existed. So these are the ruins which were discovered by some archaeologists, but it couldn't prove how old are they. So this is the main square of Cluj, center of the old town. This is another very old building, which was the New York Hotel, constructed in the beginning, constructed in the end of the 19th century, sorry. And it was the first hotel with electricity in this region, Transylvania. After Transylvania was part of Romania, then it was given the name of the Hotel Continental. Cluj has some very nice tiny streets. It really looks like an old medieval town. So it's really worth visiting. So this is another famous building in Cluj, constructed in the 15th century, but now actually it's only the entrance which is the same as in 6 centuries ago. This was the house where King Matthias was born. History museum is from the first. There are a lot of beautiful buildings in Cluj from the beginning of the 20th century or even older. So this is the Somes River. So this is a stairway to climb to the so-called Cetățuie, which is the old fortress of Cluj. Well, it doesn't remain much from that, but it's still a very nice panorama and viewpoint, so it's worth to see it, to visit it. Well, if you want to climb all the stairs at once, you must have some physical condition, because yeah, I don't know how many stairs are here, but a lot. So it's only one gate which remained from the fortress of Cluj, and it was built in the 18th century by the Austrians. This is the view which I promised. It's an amazing panorama of the city. There's the Somes River. This is another wave down from the hill. Cluj has a bridge with the locks too. I think currently every city has these kind of bridges where the lovers keep their locks as they will never separate. So now we are in the central park of Cluj. A lot of people come here to chill and to take a walk or run or just drink a beer at the bankside of the lake. I will show that too later. This is a very old park. It was established in the early beginning of the 19th century, and the construction of the buildings and the sideways was actually accomplished in the second half of the 19th century. Which is a big problem in Cluj, that we don't really have green fields and parks, because you know, in the communist area they were focused on constructing a lot of blocks, a lot of communist buildings. There are some other short parks too, but this is the biggest one, and a lot of tourists come actually in August here because it's a very big festival in the city. I will not make any advertising, so I will not tell the name, but you can Google it. So there are a lot of famous DJs coming to that festival, but I prefer more the other one, which is close to medieval castle, which is like 50 kilometers away from Cluj. It's near the Bonsida castle, and I usually prefer to go there, as I like more the music there. Probably you can search about it. So yeah, usually tourists are coming to Cluj not because of these sites which I am showing to you. Okay, there are some which are interested about culture and architecture and history, but mostly of them are coming for these two festivals. One in close to this park, and it takes place in the stadium of the Cluj football team, which actually belongs to the city council. So they are holding this festival there. And the other one, it's in this medieval castle not far from Cluj. So yeah, actually people are taking buses to get there. So yeah, these are the main reasons to come to Cluj. But I think it's a nice city, so it's worth visiting it. This pavilion is one of the main attractions here in the Central Park. In the beginning of the 20th century it was working as a casino too. A lot of people come to take photo here. And actually it was designated for music and dancing events, and even now it is functioning like that. It's a very beautiful building. In the park we can find an artificial lake and another pavilion. This pavilion is working like a bar now. But this pavilion was designated originally for skating, so in winter when the lake was frozen, they were organizing here, like you can imagine how it was in the 19th century and the beginning of the 20s, organizing big evenings, events. are in the old town again. This church was constructed in the 18th century, and it's more interesting about the reason that it was the first church built in the 11th century here. But it was a big fire in the 17th century and it was demolished. And even now a lot of old religious sites can be seen inside, so it's worth visiting it. And this monument is the oldest in the city, constructed in the beginning of the 19th century. This is another very old temple built in the beginning of the 18th century. So this is another famous building, the University of Babes-Bolyai, which is one of the most reputable universities in Romania. I finished my studies here too. It's very multicultural because you can study in English, German, Hungarian and Romanian. And more than 40,000 students are studying here. So that's why Cluj, it's yeah, kind of student city. And the university was established in the middle of the 16th century, so it's very old. This is another very old church. The first one was constructed by King Matthias, but it was destructed by the Unitarians when it was kind of a religious war, and the Protestants got it in the 17th century. We can see here a very famous statue too, and Saint George killing the dragon. The original statue is kept in Prague. This was ordered by King Charles IV. Here we can see the remains of the medieval wall of the city, which is in the best condition. And this is the Tailor's Bastion. Actually, Cluj had like 18 bastions, but this is the only one which is still standing, thanks to some renovations. So there is an exhibition. Usually you can see some artistic paintings and photos. In the 15th it was designated to be a city history museum, but this plan was cancelled, so now it's a kind of art museum, a smaller one, so that's why I said it's like exhibition here. So this is another big square in Cluj. There you can see in the background the National Theatre. Here's a huge statue of Avram Iancu, who was claimed to be a freedom fighter, but yeah, just Google it on the Wikipedia, what was his history. I will not tell about more. And here is another big monument of Cluj, the cathedral, the Orthodox cathedral, which was built in 1921. Another old building from the beginning of the 20th century, which is currently the prefecture of Cluj. So I will not include in this video another attraction in Cluj, but if you ever visit this city, then it's worth to go there. It's the botanical garden, and it's very famous and very old here in the city. You can see some exotic plants, and you can find even a Japanese garden, so it's kinda attractive. This is another old building in Cluj. This is the National Hungarian Theatre and Opera. So if you are visiting here, it's worth to attend theater play, a performance, because they usually have English and or German subtitle, so even foreigners can understand it. This is another old building in Cluj. Well, I mentioned I was living here since 13 years, and I always knew this is the building of one of the buildings of the technical university, but now I just read about it that it was built in 1904, and it was the Austrian-Hungarian bank before the Treaty of Trianon, 1999. Another very old building in Cluj was used as a concert and meeting place. A lot of government meetings took place here in the 18th century when this building was constructed, and such a big artists were giving concerts like Liszt Ferenc, Johannes Brahms, Bartók Béla. So this is the Banfi Palace, which is under renovation, so I cannot show you. It's really beautiful, a very old castle. The Banfi family was an old Transylvanian aristocratic family. Currently it's the building of the Museum of the Fine Arts here in Cluj. And this is the Venice of Cluj. So I'm just joking. No, it's not. It's just how we call it when we are joking with our friends. But well, actually there are similarities, right? Anyway, it's a nice street. So this was the video from Cluj, from the Heart of Transylvania. Please leave a comment if you would like some similar videos from Romania, from Transylvania, if you're interested about it, because I have no clue if there would be an audience for it or not. And yeah, if you didn't subscribe yet to my channel, then please do it. Have a nice day and goodbye.